probably would give the shirt off my back.
Yep.
Just because they are who they are.
That's the nature.
Yeah.
That's the game.
So, dun, dun, dun.
Oh, did you want a sound for something then?
Yeah. I don't think that's the right
Oh,
one.
what are we talking about?
So, obviously the vaccine mandates. Yeah, that's the right sound. hit the military.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's hit special operations. I mean, you heard about the SEALs that that are all suing. And
oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty up to date on all the lawsuits that are going on.
So you made the decision not to get vaccinated.
Yes.
And that was ultimately, long story short, is the reason why you resigned.
Yes.
And now you resigned of your own free will.
My own free will.
You're out.
Right. I am, to be honest, I'm probably one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. So can you, for a guy like you,
when were you planning to retire versus
30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
I was not getting out.
Yeah.
You were going to drag me out by my teeth.
It's a fun job.
It's a fun job.
And then even if you did say 20, 30 years, you can have a whole other career afterwards.
Even when the job sucks, the guys, the individuals who you're around make it worth it. That's really the job in a nutshell. The guys make it worth it.
So this stuff comes down and says, hey, you're now, granted, we all got vaccines early on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We all got a bunch of stuff, especially in my day. I got all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Right?
There's all kinds of weird stuff running through my system.
Yeah. But this thing came out, and something about it was not right, and you decided to say no. So what? I mean, you don't have to say what you don't want to say, but whatever you.
I'm pretty willing to say dang near anything here.
So, what was the reason why out of all the years and your goals and everything, you just say no? I'm not going to do it, man.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah, there's a lot to unbox there.
Yeah.
So when this all first, when the vaccine was first coming out, when the mandates first started, so I was down in Key West, right? We were in phase. We had students, and they were like, hey, this is coming down. Like, you guys might have to stay there. Like, you need to find a way to run all of phase 1 in Key West.
What?
Dead serious. And we started planning. Like, all right, where can we patrol?
Right.
Like, where can we do Raider Spear? Like, we're obviously not doing mortars. We're obviously not doing machine guns. Like, you guys are going to have to send us a lot, and it's going to be a
have these
course.
Have these people been to Key West?
No.
Okay.
But we had a way. We had a plan.
Okay.
Right. Now, luckily, we were able to get back home. Right. Everything was able to go well enough that we got the guys back and we finished out the phase. So when the initial vaccine was coming, I told my wife, I was like, hey, I might have to get this thing to stay in, and neither one of us wanted it. Right. Like, I was like,
but what about it at that initial point that you were like, something's off? Out of all the things that I've gotten,
the speed that it took, like all of a sudden this new virus comes out, nobody admits where it came from.
Right.
So immediately, if anybody knows anything, it's that all politicians are liars.
Yep.
Like, I don't trust any of you. Everything has to do with money. Big Pharma does not have your back.
Right.
So the speed that this vaccine started coming out, I was like, something's wrong.
It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, and then this is right after we're all dealing with this like botched election. Like, if they're trying to figure out what the hell. So like literally you're already on edge. Like, I don't trust anyone right now. And now you're telling me I have to do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had already got COVID. I never got tested because I was in phase. I was like, I can't, like, it's going to shut everything down. I was like, we can't do this. So we all took a risk, right? So I was also like, well, if I've already had it, I'm fine. But the speed at which everything was happening, I was like, this doesn't make sense. There's too much, there's money involved here.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And then you're looking at the vaccine and they're talking about what it is. I'm like, well, by definition, from the CDC, this isn't a vaccine. It doesn't provide me antibodies. Like, so what is it doing? If it's not doing what it's supposed to, why would I take it? And now people always throw back, like what you said. You had all kinds of vaccines when you came up. Yeah, you're right. you're right. I was 20 years old and I didn't care.
I didn't even know.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you put? You're putting something cool. Does it allow me to go shoot people in the face? Yeah. Okay.
Put it in.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. As you get older, and that's what drives me crazy, because it's always upper level people who say this to you. It's never young guys.
Yeah.
It's always upper level who say the exact same thing. I was like, are you telling me that you're in 20 years in the Corps, you haven't matured at all, that you haven't changed your opinion on something, that you're still the same person you were when you were 18 years old? Pull my other leg.
Yeah.
Because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And so, so I'm looking at all this. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But, I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, I might have to get this to stay in. And she's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. She's like, you do not understand what's in this. And so the more research, we're doing more research. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. So for the vaccine, just this, to me, people are, they always say follow the science. I'm like, okay, but I am. And it's leading me to this direction.
Right.
And science is flawed by nature, right? That's why it's a practice. Like doctors practice whatever they're.
That's why it's experiments.
Right. Yeah. Like it's a practice. It's not perfection.
Right.
So the science that I'm seeing, the science that the researchers are presenting, and anytime anyone's like, oh, you're doing your Google research, I'm like, how do you think anybody researches things nowadays? Are you telling me that everything you researched in high school and college, like you just magically knew the answer? No, you went to the internet, you went to the encyclopedias, to the library, and you read, and you looked at differing opinions, and you formed your own, right? Which I understand schools don't do that anymore, but that's how I did it,
Right.
and that's how I did it here.
Right.
And my opinions were, I will not take this thing because it doesn't make sense, and because I don't believe it should be forced on people.
It's not the same as, a smallpox vaccine. It's not the same as
not even the same as a flu shot.
Penicillin. No. Right. Exactly. Right.
But I won't even take the flu shot. And again, the more research I did and realized that the lineage of all of the SARS-CoV line, now I know where it came from. I'm like, no,
I'm good.
Solid.
I haven't done it in years.
I'll take the sniffles.
I actually stopped my IDC and SARCs. They would be like, "Oh, it's time for your flu shot." They'd be like,
"Squirt down the wall." Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you're good.
Trash can's right there.
You're good. Get out of here. Because we were all done. We were like, because like you said, as we got older, we were like, this made a little more, got a little smarter.
Yep.
And went from there. So, obviously, you played the tippy toe game for a while, right?
I did. I was very, very low key. I was always upfront with what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I will say there was there a way that I could have done exactly what you just said and gotten the shot and stayed in? Sure.
See, I was hearing that the way they were doing it is like it wasn't even team guys, it wasn't company guys. Like
there's
it was
ways.
Pretty controlled.
It is, but there's ways.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can do that. I had that opportunity.
Do you think there are a lot of guys? Do you think there's a lot more people than they're being said that's taking those opportunities?
Absolutely.
Like, sure, I'm getting the shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like operate in the gray.
Yeah.
Be a little bit fire. Hey,
well, that's encouraging though, at least.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I think people
operators are always going to operate. That's just the way. That's the way it goes.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. If you get caught, you ain't soft.
Right.
That's how it is, man. Like just don't get caught. So that opportunity came, and I talked to my wife about it, and she's like, "Well, that could allow you to stay." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to do it."
Because there's a bigger thing here.
There's a bigger thing there.
Yeah.
My thing at the end of the day, the vaccine is one thing, right?
Yeah.
People can agree or disagree. I don't care if you get the damn thing. And I understand that people have died of COVID or at least have COVID more comorbidities. I understand that. The biggest thing for me was these mandates are wrong. This is not what I signed up for. I signed up to defend people's rights, and you are asking me to take those away beyond my own rights, which that's another thing. People are like, well, you signed up for the military. You gave away your rights. It's like, no, I didn't. I'm still a United States citizen. Are you kidding me? I still vote.
Right.
It's like I agreed to do things differently. I never signed away my rights.
Right.
Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not in prison.
Right. You can't experiment on me. Like there are a lot of things that I gave up.
Anybody listening to this, I mean, there's people that I have haters that listen to this thing too, and that's what they're going to say.
For sure.
Like, well, you're in the military, so you should just do whatever you get told. You're a robot.
No.
Right.
No.
Like, that's a great point. Like, I'm an American citizen. I vote. I'm service of my country.
That's right.
Yeah.
If everybody in the military did exactly as they were told, there would be no initiative. Initiative would not exist.
Right.
More wars would fail.
Yeah.
More lives would be lost because individuals didn't say no. There are stories, go through any military history book. There are plenty of stories of guys who went against the grain because they knew it was right.
Is it MCDP 1?
Yeah.
It's in that.
Yeah.
It's in that. It says question your leader. You should question your leadership.
Absolutely. And that's what I chose to do. So the mandates, I believe, were 100% wrong. So I had decided, no, I'm not going to take the easy way out and either get a fake shot. I'm not going to get the shot, but I'm not going to hide it.
Yeah.
Now, I also wasn't going to be banging down the doors. I wasn't going to be screaming in people's face about it. I was going to make my stand. I was going to let people know that this is what I'm doing. This is the direction I'm going. You
weren't trying to get a mob together. This was Kyle Mann's.
This is my conviction.
My decision, right. My conviction.
I had chosen that my principles were more important than my pension.
Yeah.
So we made that final decision, and we started looking outside, and we started doing the research. And okay, how can we do this? And stay in. That was really the goal. Was how do I do this and stay in?
Yeah.
But if it fails, what do we do when we get out? But I just couldn't stand by knowing who I am and the voice I have and realizing that there's a lot of people younger than me who they're going to do what they're told because they're scared.
Yeah.
I cannot be one of them. I have to give somebody hope that it's okay to stand up. It's okay to sacrifice. Things are going to be okay. If you can look at it that way, and no matter how bad it gets, in the end, you have stood up on your own feet. You did what was right. Your integrity was worth more than your identity. And you just got to stay true to that.
Yeah.